Few incidents in British Superbike qualifying earlier on today. Cold tyres.
Yeah, it is really cold out there, and they've got to be very careful of the left hand, especially the left at Craners. We saw 4 or 5 big crashes there, but you know, it is what it is. You've got to take a little bit of time to get those tyres right up to temperature.
So this all-new class then, pretty exciting this, isn't it? Off the back of the very successful debut of the Supersport 300 World Championship at the World Superbike Rounds last year, and this is in the ashes really of the KTM RC Cup. There's no British KTM RC Cup in 2018. Many of those riders though are on this grid. The other half more or less are in the British Talent Cup, which starts this weekend as well as we move away on the warm-up lap. Now there were a few riders outside the 110% threshold, weren't there, in qualifying, but a few special dispensations have been made.
Yeah, exactly. I think 6 or 7 riders, you know, didn't quite get it in there, so they've let them in. It's good experience. You know, obviously these riders, young riders, you know, from 14 to 22 years of age, so they're the young guys learning their trade, and it's a really good class. In the it's going to be a cheap and affordable class to do. There's a direct correlation with the same class in World Championships, so hopefully it might give some of these guys a route in. It certainly looks like the Kawasaki's the bike to be on, with the top 5 all in the Kawasaki 400.
Yeah, well spotted, and as you can see at the top of the screen on our new look Eurosport BSB graphics for 2018 warm-up laps, because we do have a couple of warm-up laps. Race distance has been reduced from 8 to 7 laps, but tomorrow's 2 races, and there are 3 in total for this class this weekend, will be 10 laps each. So 7 today and 10, hopefully, fingers crossed, if we get the racing tomorrow, James, because there are question marks at the moment over what will actually happen here on Easter Monday.
Yeah, I mean, this weather has just, obviously, as everyone knows, it's been an awkward little patch in the UK of weather at the moment. Cold, wet, April showers, so it is one of those things, but we'll just have to wait and see. The main thing is they're getting this race underway. It's all been jiggled around, and the organisers, as usual, are doing a good job.
And MSVR, they've completed their acquisition of Donington Park now. The blue and white has been replaced by the classic MSV red and white. We're getting used to it, aren't we? It's quite strange seeing so much red around, but the place is looking a lot better now. Lots of new facilities, a brand new cafe. Stuart Higgs has pointed out how important the new toilet blocks are here, because the previous ones dated back to the 70s, so they're getting their priorities right there, aren't they?
Yeah, very much so, and it's such a brilliant circuit, Donington Park. I've always had a deep affinity and love with it, and it's nice. It's been neglected, it's been up and down these last 10 years, so for these guys to take it over and spend some money where it needs spending, new toilets, new facilities, the new bar, the new restaurant, it's fantastic, and it's just what Donington Park could do with, and it adds another great circuit.
Have you sampled the new bar yet, Hayden?
Not yet, but we can do that later.
We'll definitely have to do that later, won't we? Just for research purposes, obviously, as we stand by for this first ever British Junior Supersport race. Now, there's a selection of bikes in the field. We've got Kawasaki's, Yamaha's, KTM's. Honda is allowed to compete, but at the moment, no Hondas on the grid. And here is that first ever grid then, with Matt Bauer, fresh from the KTM RC Cup last year, on pole. Edmund Best from the Moto Star class last year, up there with Luke Fauvet. His younger brother Cade right behind him, with Ewan McGlinchey 5th, and Will Lathrop completing that second row. Lots of Kawasaki's up there, as James has pointed out. Mikey Lars-Taylor heads row 3 from Jordan McCord. The Northern Irish rider goes well in the wet, but it's dry at the moment. Then it's Oliver Johnson, Lyndon Netherland, Brodie Crockford, and James Lewis Blair completing that 4th row. Now, interestingly, you can see number 100 there, which is actually, very interestingly, the Neil Hodgson leathers, which is used on the television over the last few years, and they're being used here by Jamie Le Mesurier, who is number 69 actually, so it's a James Whittam number with Neil Hodgson leathers.
He must know a few people.
Yeah, he obviously does, doesn't he? As they stream down under the ghost of the Dunlop Bridge, there's the practice start zone there as well. What's the key going to be though here, James? We have seen incidents in British Superbikes earlier on. Track is cold.
Yeah, I mean, it's nice that obviously they're giving them 2 laps, so the guys have got some temperature in the tyres, and it's just really, you've just got to respect the conditions and it's hard, your blood's up, you want to go racing, but you've just got to be a little bit careful in those early laps. These haven't got they've been little small capacity bikes, 300-400cc. They haven't got a lot of power, so it's not like they can be rooting up the tarmac and big heights like. But at the same time, they still, like anything, it's all about edge grip and it's about confidence. So this is where they've got to be careful. Just the temperature they lose, they come to the line, and as they sit waiting for the rest of the guys to gather.
And there's 23 riders on the overall entry list for this class so far this season. I'm sure there'll be more as the year goes on, but just to split that up, it's 12 Kawasaki's, 7 Yamahas and 4 KTMs at the moment. But interestingly, James, out of those 12 Kawasaki's, 11 of them are the new Ninja 400, just the one 300 on the grid, and that's the number 15 of Jonathan Campbell. But good to see that 400 in action.
Yeah, it is, and I mean, like I said, it's out of the first 9 bikes, 7 of them are those new 400 Kawasaki, so it does look like the bike to be on at the moment. Yeah, there are some KTMs and some Yams, but certainly the Kawasaki is dominating.
So here we go then, BSB coming up later today, but at the moment then it's the first support race, the first race at all for BSB in 2018, and the inaugural race in the British Junior Supersport Championship, whose name will go down in history. There can only be one, of course, as the first ever winner in this category. So here we go then, history in the making. The first ever Dickies British Junior Supersport Championship race is underway, and it's a good start off pole. He'll be very pleased with that. Will Matt Bauer only got to grips with this bike recently at the Donington test, and they streamed down to Redgate for the first time, the 22. Looking at the inside there, Ewan McGlinchey. Careful, careful, careful. Early doors, almost contact there at Redgate.
Yeah, what a launch off the number 78 Matthew Bauer. He really just timed in lines brilliantly, got a great drive, and he's put a few bike lengths in already.
Yeah, Matt Bauer was 4th in the KTM RC Cup here in Britain last year, went well at the World Final in Jerez as well, alongside World Superbikes at the end of the season, down through the old hairpin. Then for the first time we've seen crashes already down through the Craners today, but no such problems then for these Junior Supersport riders. That's fantastic news. Up through Starkeys for the first time and heading to McLean's. It's getting rather tight there, look, in that fight for second place, but the leader is managing to edge away. Great move there though for 7, and that's Cade Fevey, the 17-year-old from Silverstone. So of course he's grown up very much in a racing environment. Brilliant scrap going on there. And Cade Fevey will be pleased because he was actually out-qualified yesterday by his elder brother, and Cade was the quicker of the two brothers in the KTMs last year, but he was beaten to 3rd on the grid in qualifying here yesterday. They had a 20-minute practice session and a 20-minute qualifying session, and they do not want to allow Matt Bauer, the 16-year-old from Sheffield, pull away from pole position on the number 78 bike. Very smart looking bikes, you have to say. Yeah,
no, they are indeed. In a class like this, when it is so similar, you know, a lot of that, and look, I think Cade's just moving up the inside, but look at that, number 22, Ewan McGlinchey, he goes through to the lead. So all Jade was going to say, it's all about slipstreaming, it's all about keeping it neat. It's a tiny little advantages you've got to look on, you've got to be consistent, and also, as you can see, with so much scrapping and young riders, you've also got to make sure you position yourself at the right spot in the last couple of laps so you can fight for the win.
And some new tarmac's gone down, I understand, hasn't it, here at Donington? It's not just the facilities they've updated, but the track itself has been improved as well. But you still saw how bumpy it was under braking for Goddards. It always has been bumpy into that last corner, but this is Redgate then. This is only lap 2 of 7. There's a long way to go in this race. These riders lapping not quite 2 minutes, but 1:53 was that first lap time from a standing start. But look, they have not allowed Bauer to pull away.
He's going to be very tight for that left-hander there. He just pulls it back a little bit, and this is the danger corner. This is where we saw so many people, the left-hander of Craners there, go down in the Superbike qualifying. But with these 2 laps, these guys all keeping it pretty neat and tidy so far.
So Ewan McGlinchey hits the front, Cade Fevey is easy to spot. Look, and one of them down already, and this is the Craners again.
It's the left again, as we spoke. He's got a little novice bib on, so he's a new young rider. He's been caught out. Don't worry, you're in good company when we had so many big names, big experienced names in the Superbikes.
Yeah, and the grass is so wet there with all the rain we've had recently here that they're digging in. It's the number 55, Freddie Crockford, then out of the race. So unfortunate.
And that is John Crockford, is his dad, who was a real Superbike privateer when I was racing. Lovely guy, and you know, it's easy to do that. You're either in the Craners Club or you're not. Obviously I am.
That's funny that James Whittam said to us off air earlier on, every time there seems to be a crash, he said, I had a crash through there once. Pretty much every corner, isn't it? Poor old Whit. But Cade Fevey then hits the front as we move towards the end of lap 2, down to the Melbourne hairpin. Incidentally, talking of dads, we've got Max Lofthouse who's in this field as well, on number 24, John Lofthouse's son. So we've got a few dads around the paddock. And you've got Caleb Smith from Solihull. He's been mentored by Chaz Mortimer, the ex-TT winner and Grand Prix winner as well. Yeah. So plenty of experience around in the paddock. And these guys already, with their limited experience, James, showing some great maturity here.
Yeah, it was a really nice lap from Fevey there, number 7. He just put in a neat, tidy lap, and he's just given himself a little bit of room. You can see the bikes wriggling. They do look a little soft on the front. I mean, whether that's just the way they are, whether it's just the way the guys have got them set at the moment to try and stimulate a little bit more travel, a bit more movement to help the tyres warm up. But certainly number 22, McGlinchey looks quite soft on the front.
Yes, he does, and surprise, surprise, Kay Fevey, this first race in this category at this circuit has obviously set a new lap record. That'll continue to tumble, you'd imagine, over the next few laps. But Kay Fevey, leading there, number 7 towards us, will be very, very pleased with this. He came off badly in a Thundersport race at Rockingham last year and held his elbow. It really put him on the back foot. Missed a few races in the KTM series, finished 6th overall in the end, and just missed out on the KTM World Final towards the end of the season. There's your top 6 then. Kay Fevey with the lead at the moment.
I mean, it's a really, it's interesting. I'm glad to see that we've got a class like this sort of coming back with the mix of manufacturers, and the youngsters being able to get in it. When I started, there was a sort of a similar class called mini stocks, which was little 125 2 strokes, TZR 125 sort of mostly, and Neil Hodgson started in with me, and it meant it was a cheap, affordable class. You learn all the same techniques, slipstreaming and overtaking, out braking, balance, clutch control, brake control, but at a lower speed and at a manageable speed, and it just really helped. I thought it was a brilliant class, and I'm sad when that went. So it's great to see a class like this coming back, but also, as I say, with all the manufacturers able to enter it, and I think it'll be I think it's got some real legs in it.
That was very ambitious there by Matt Bauer, number 78, through briefly into the lead, ran wide, back down to third. Here comes McGlinchey up the inside. Oh, he really backed out of it there. He gave them a lot of space there. He was worried, I think, that he was going to run into the back of Kay Fevey. That was sensible, actually.
Yeah, and I'll tell you who is coming up as well, and that's number 4, number 76, and that's Verrey's brother there. So Luke Verrey, he's coming through now, and he just seems to be a pretty good lap from him there. And yeah, let's have a look at that. That was the fastest lap of the race, actually, 150.1, and that's a new lap record again. As you say, the lap record's sort of going lap on lap here at the moment. So watch number 4 as well.
Here's a good scrap further back sorry, James, good scrap further back as well here. This is for 9th, 10th and 11th. It's Lofthouse versus Lyndon Lederland, and Johnson's in here as well, look, fighting away, and points right down, as they do in the World Championship and the British Superbike Championship, to 15th place. 25 for the win, 20 for second, 16 for third, down to 1 for 15th place. Back at the front then, there'll be only 3 laps to go when they next cross the line. I suppose they're sizing each other up here, aren't they, to see where am I stronger, where might I be able to get through on that last lap. Slipstreaming, though, as you've already said, is going to be critical. That's the name of the game in this category.
Yeah, it is. And coming out here, keep getting yourself tucked in, making yourself small and letting the bike cut through. But you can see that Luke Verrey, number 76 there, on the identical bike to his brother, he's having a little lose up the inside, but unfortunately he's trapped on the wrong side. He's going to swap to the inside, can't quite do it on that lap, but both him and the best behind him have just closed in on these guys.
I was chatting with the Fevey brothers last night, and I was saying, have you put some sort of plan together for this one? And they wouldn't quite give anything away, but you have to imagine they have. But it's Cade at the moment then, with the advantage. Here comes his brother. Oh!
Yeah, he does 2 in 1. Look at that, the 2 brothers, first and second then, Luke Verrey and Cade Verrey.
Oh, I hope Mum and Dad are watching on and proud of this one. They do come from Silverstone, as we said earlier on, not too far from here, of course, just down the motorway. 78, that's Bauer. Oh, and McGlinchey then, actually, defending from Bauer, nips up the inside of Luke Fevey, almost contact. Oh, brilliant stuff here, early doors, and they know it's only a 7-lap race. Remember, 10-lap race, 2 of them coming up on Monday here, but in this Sunday race, it's just 7 laps. So, 3 to go. What they do not want to do, though, is allow any leader to make a break. And interestingly, Kay Fevey's lead was almost 9/10 of a second that time over the line. Yeah,
well, that little moment that McGlinchey had, he just came off the throttle, and he just meant they all had to shut the throttle for a split second, and it just gave Kay Fevey, the leader, number 7, a little bit of breathing space. Oh, here comes Best as well. I think it was that Best just going through on Bauer there.
Yeah, and Best knows these tracks brilliantly, of course, having raced in the Motorstar class last year. He was right up there. He was a front runner in the class across the season, generally speaking. Here comes Bauer again, number 78. Watch out then for Matt Bauer. Did start on pole position, was very surprised to be on pole position, but they have done a great job. That's the FS3 team. They've put a great colour scheme on that bike, and MSS Performance have been working very, very hard to convert it from a road bike to a race bike, because of course all of these bikes are road-based machines, and they've started life as a road bike and they've been converted into race bikes. Some of them literally just finished here when they got to Donington Park on Friday.
Yeah, McGlinchey, number 22, he's going up the inside, he's got the line. Is he going to run a little bit back? You can see he cuts back through, and it looks like Kate just might have the line. No, it's lovely, he's held that really well.
So McGlinchey towards the number 22, Team 109. The 2 Fevey brothers are side by side. Cade up the inside. That was very late on the brakes. And watch the second of them. Watch Luke. He'll try and dive up the inside. Yes, he's doing it. they're 1 and 2 again, then the two brothers, as we come through to start the penultimate lap. Well, not quite, they almost were. And it's Cade Fivey. Oh, he wants this one so badly. Quite a few frustrations last year in the KTM RC Cup.
Yeah, you can see McGlinchey there as well. He's got a really tight line there. I think he's actually just stopping anyone actually getting up his insides. He comes in so tight.
And how aware will they be, James, that they are racing here in front of all the VSB riders, the VSB team bosses, you know, a lot of media here as well. The press has got to be on in comparison with some of the club racing they've done before this. Yeah,
I mean, obviously, yeah, bigger crowds, and you know, you are on their noses right now. They won't be thinking of any of that at all. They'll just be trying to get going, trying to get the win. As you say, we've got a lap and a half to go, so you just shouldn't be thinking about getting in neat. Where can I get an advantage? McGlinchey, he broke the lap record, fast lap of the race on that last lap, 1:49.8, and it really is coming down to crunch time.
Yeah, and just 1.5 seconds covering this leading quintet, this top 5, so really any one of this 5 could win this race. 1 lap to go and they next cross the line. Up to McLean's then. Cade Fivey with the advantage, 22. Let's get used to these colours and numbers, is Ewan McGlinchey. Right behind him is Luke Fivey, number 76. He's easy to spot with the blue leathers. 44 right behind him is Ed Best. And then 5th there is Matt Bauer. Remember, Bauer, who is 5th in the train at the moment, started on pole position. As the teams watch on there in the bottom right corner, the two Fivey brothers, of course, in the same team, and they are brothers as well. So can they work it between them as McGlinchey dives at the inside of Cade Fivey?
That's neat, he's done that again. He might just get cut up the inside. No, he keeps it going, he's all the track, and he looks a little bit of a smaller rider compared to the two Fivey brothers, but doing a good job. But is he going to cover his line? Not quite enough, and through goes Cade Fivey again, number 7.
Cade Fivey, so confident, and to break it, isn't he, down into the hairpin?
Yeah, it's good. It looks like he's got a little bit more support in the front forks as well than McGlinchey's, who look very soft. You can see it just sort of rotating around the headstock a bit more.
Oh, I hope they all finish. This is going to really kick off, isn't it, as they get down to that last corner.
There's a back marker coming up as well. They might just catch him, or if he can just get him before Redgate. That is, of course, number 37, James Bull. But they're just slipping past James Bull on the KTM there.
Yeah, through they go, and you can see that the numbers as well have special. He's actually testing out the brakes. He's obviously had a problem early on, probably pitted and come back out. But you can see all of the different makes because they've got the colours on the back of the numbers. All of the Kawasaki's are in green, KTM's are in orange, and Yamaha's in blue, of course.
Now this is the last lap, and Best has got past Luke Fivey, so he set the fastest lap of the race, 1:49.4 on that last lap, and he's now up to 3rd.
Oh, this is going to get very interesting indeed, and we need to watch for Matt Bauer as well, who, don't forget, I know I keep saying it, but he started on pole, he's dropped back to 5th place. Can he do anything? There is still time. It's still a long lap, of course, for these guys.
Oh, look at McGlinchey around the outside then, but he might just have the line for McLean's, and he has. It's a lovely little pass. So look at Best. Best comes through as well. Remember, Best broke that lap record on the last lap. He looked like he was out of it, but he might just be the man.
Great stuff for Ed Best, who's come up from Motorstar this year, and here is Matt Bauer now. He's got to start attacking. If he's going to win this race from 5th place, he's got to get in now. He is running out of time as McGlinchey and Best come towards us. It's McGlinchey on the right, number 22, Best 44. And there's Cade Fivey at the inside. Surely he's not going to dive through from 3rd place from that far back, no.
Oh, it's Best. Really nice and Best. So Best has come through from 4th to take the lead, and he's only got 2 corners to go. He's got to cover the inside here. He's got to be careful. McGlinchey, no, he leaves a big wide door open. He's going to disappear up the inside. Is he going to be able to square it off?
Oh, did he want to be in the lead? I wonder. Cade Fivey looking at the inside as well. What can they do? Up to Goddard's for the last time. Matt Bauer was briefly up to 4th, but drops back to 5th. Surely he's out of it now as McGlinchey comes towards us for the last time. There's Best, covers off Cade Fivey, and it's going to be, I think, James, that run to the line.
Oh, he's going all the way around the outside. It's going to be really tight here. Who's going to be able to go to the line?
What a finish in the first ever British Junior Supersport race. 3 and Best over the line. They almost touch.
It's
Best. It's Best. It's Ed Best by 14 thousandths of a second. And the fastest lap on the last lap as well. What a shot that was. What a run out of Goddard's on that last lap.
I tell you what, McGlinchey was just so tight on the inside, covering his line, and what a move from Best. He ran around the outside. He kept his confidence. I don't think he's sure whether he's won or not, because there's no celebrations, but what a great race here from the youngsters.
And look what's happened on the timing screen now. It's registered McGlinchey as the winner. It's swapped over.
He's still on the podium.
He's still on the podium. You're right down there, but on Twitch, McGlinchey, number 22, has been registered as the winner. Ewan McGlinchey for Team 109. That's remarkable. 4 thousandths of a second. So close it was. Not even the timing system knew who'd won.
So actually it did get reversed. So number 22, McGlinchey, he was the winner. 44 was Best in 2nd, and in 3rd it was Cade Fivey, and 4th his brother. So What a great race though. The top top four separated by 0.2 and the win by 4,000.
Yes, 4,000.
He won! He won it!
He did win it. That's McGlinchey's crew. They didn't realise, of course, until we realised the timing system for quite some time. It usually changes quickly, but they had to take a few seconds to just work out what had happened there. Ewan McGlinchey then, after 12 minutes and 56 rather dramatic seconds of racing, I still don't think he knows he's won the race.
No, he doesn't, but I mean, great stuff there, and they'll all look at that. They'll be diagnosing that. Where do they go wrong? Should I close the door here? Don't leave it too open. But a really good run, and they're all learning. And it looks like it's going to be a good class.
Oh, this is going to be great. He's going to pull into Park Ferme in a moment and go for second, and they're going to guide him towards the winner's spot. And we're going to get a great reaction in a moment from Ewan McGlinchey. Fantastic. Absolutely great stuff as he comes down to Melbourne. No celebration at all.
He looks like a little slight rider, doesn't he, as well?
I wonder whether Best reckons he's won it then. Nobody was really celebrating. I don't think anyone thinks they've won the race.
Well, it was hard to tell wheel to wheel, wasn't it? That top three in 0.1 of a second and just 4,000s between the two, so it was almost impossible to judge when you're on the bike.
What happened further back, by the way, quick mention for everybody else, it was Mikey Lars Taylor 6th from Latrobe, Jordan McCord, Lofthouse and Leatherland, Lyndon Leatherland then completing the top 10. He did a few KTM races, the last 3 of last year. But let's just wait for this reaction now from number 22, our winner, the first ever winner in this category. Junior British Supersport, he's number 22 and he needs to go to the top spot. Right, the others know. So I think McGlinchey's going to pull in last and see that the middle spot is vacant and he's going to think, I've actually won this. He should know by now because he'll be in the pit lane and his family and team members should have told him. Here's Cade Fave. I think he seems pleased enough, but he probably knows he could have won that one.
Yeah, he does. Little one Haslam, Haslam stick on the leathers there. There's a few sponsors there.
Funny that the two brothers were pretty much side by side over the line as well. Luke Fave was right behind them, and here comes the winner. He'll know by now. Ewan McGlinchey did the whole of the slowing down lap.
First flipping race, I think.
Not realising he'd won this race.
Awesome. Can I get your interview at one point? Don't look so happy.
Well, obviously you get some help from Glenn Irwin, so that's a good ally to have in your corner for sure.
Yeah, good to see Glenn's alright as well, isn't it? After yesterday's incident.
The race, I says nobody beat him in the last lap.
Oh, it's a great little win from the Irishman there.
That's interesting. Glenn Irwin there, who obviously knows McGlinchey very well, saying I said no one would beat him on that last lap, so he had confidence in him. Glenn Irwin certainly did. Here we go then. Watch this. 3 abreast, and the winner, the eventual winner, is number 22, who's in the middle of your picture.
Yeah, and there's a little bit of argy-bargy there. You can see that. What a great look at that. That's what 0.1 of a second looks like, 80-odd mile an hour. So this is coming into the last... No, this is actually coming into the chicane, into the straight here. This last lap, look at that. It's a great little shot of them. That is the top 3, not in that order, but that's how tight it was.
And it changes these bikes with their reduced speed. They're changing the length of the straights, the length of the braking zones. There's people going around the outside where you wouldn't normally expect to see it. Oh, great stuff. So what a dramatic first race that was then in this 2018 Dickies British Junior Supersport Championship, the first ever race in this class, and well, it's just as close as it promised to be. Ewan McGlinchey then didn't even know it until he came into the pit lane, but he won it by 4,000ths of a second. Brilliant debut in this category for Ed Best. The two Faves, as they were on the grid, locked together, but the other way around. Cade on the podium from Luke, his elder brother, and Matt Bauer, who started on pole, completing that top 5. Points, don't forget, down into 15th position, just as they are in BSB itself. There's Harris Beach who collects that point. Caleb Smith there from Solihull, West Midlands, 16th just outside, and look how close they were, even towards the lower reaches of the top 15, some way behind the winners, but very, very close. James Bull, we saw being lapped, obviously had a problem or some sort of incident with his KTM earlier on in the race.